People loved to say he was unbeatable, untouchable, the one man who carried the pride of American barbecue on his shoulders. His name was Jackson Reed, but everyone online called him Iron Tongue. Why? Because the man claimed he could judge any grilled meat on earth with a single bite, and his opinion, according to him, was the only one that mattered. His Instagram sat at 2.3 million followers. His TikToks pulled millions of views each week. His YouTube channel was already past 3 million subscribers. His restaurant in Dallas had lines that wrapped around the block even on weekdays. And every time he stepped onto a competition stage, people already knew the trophy was going home with him. But fame is a strange thing. When everything is going your way, after a while, it stops feeling exciting. It stops challenging you. Jackson had perfected Texas brisket, ribs, pulled pork, you name it. Pitmasters feared him. Judges praised him. He'd collected plaques and medals until he stopped counting. And eventually, boredom crept in, quiet at first, then loud enough that he couldn't ignore it. He needed something new to conquer. Someone to prove wrong. And then one night, while scrolling through his Instagram comments, he stumbled on a message that detonated like a firecracker. Come to the Philippines, Jackson. Try real Lechon. Then talk about mastery. He almost scrolled past it. But thousands of likes caught his eye. Thousands. Lechon, he muttered, raising a brow. Isn't that just a roasted pig? He clicked the commenter's profile, a young Filipino food researcher named Isla Mendoza. Her page was filled with culinary history, regional dishes, and videos about Filipino food culture. One video showed Lechon being slowly roasted over charcoal, basted with family marinades passed down for decades. Jackson laughed at it. He went live. And with full confidence dripping from every word, he said, Lechon isn't real barbecue. It's cute, sure. Like home cooking. But it's not craft. Not technique. You want to challenge me? Fine. Fly me out. I'll show the world what actual mastery tastes like. The clip exploded. 4 hours later, it had already hit 500,000 views. Filipinos were furious. Americans backed him like a sports team defending their captain. Tweets, duets, stitches, reaction videos, the internet was suddenly a battlefield of barbecue pride. Isla responded calmly. If you're so confident, come to Cebu. Try Lechon from the families who've perfected it for generations. If it doesn't humble you, then go home and call Texas BBQ the best on earth. She didn't insult him. Didn't mock him. She simply challenged him. That confidence, quiet but sharp, annoyed Jackson more than the angry comments. So he made a decision. 2 weeks later, with his camera crew carrying tripods through the airport, Jackson boarded a plane to Manila. He'd turned it into a 10-episode travel vlog idea. American Barbecue King vs. World. He had no doubt the Philippines would be his easiest victory. The moment he stepped out of the airport, humid air slapped him right in the face. The chaos of taxis, honking, vendors calling out, families hugging, it was nothing like Dallas. As his team filmed him walking into the city, Isla approached them with a confident smile. Welcome to Manila, she said. Ready? Ready to win? Absolutely, Jackson smirked. She didn't bother replying. She just gave him a look that felt like she was watching a child tying his shoelaces wrong. The next morning, they took a flight to Cebu, the homeland of legendary Lechon. Jackson spent the entire plane ride rehearsing lines. Too oily. Too simple. Good, but not competition level. He was ready to embarrass the entire country on camera. They arrived at a small village outside Cebu City. It wasn't a restaurant. It wasn't even a stall. It was a backyard, dirt ground, mango trees, chickens pecking around. Smoke curled from a long bamboo spit over a charcoal pit. A thin elderly man turned the pig slowly, steady hands and a calm expression. That's him, Isla said softly. Lolo Ernesto. 4th-generation Lechon maker. He's been doing this since he was 7. Jackson whispered to his cameraman, bro, this is gonna be too easy. They approached. Lolo Ernesto smiled warmly, nodding as if he'd been expecting them his whole life. He didn't speak English, but his presence felt like a welcome, not a challenge. His granddaughter translated, showing pride in every word. Jackson watched skeptically as Ernesto worked. No thermometer. No fancy smoker. No digital gadgets. Just instinct. Just decades of understanding heat, wind, seasoning, and patience. When the Lechon finished, Ernesto carved the skin, and the crackle echoed like glass breaking. Jackson blinked. It sounded perfect. Too perfect. He tried to keep his face neutral. Ernesto placed skin, meat, and a small cup of liver sauce onto a banana leaf. No plates. No silverware. Just tradition. Jackson cleared his throat, turned to the camera, and lifted the piece like he was holding a winner's trophy. This is it, he said. Let's see what the hype is about. He took a bite, and the world stopped. The crunch, unreal. The fat underneath melted instantly. The seasoning, subtle but layered. Smoke flavor, delicate yet unmistakable. Everything was balanced, intentional, mastered. Jackson's eyebrows twitched. His jaw froze mid-chew. Isla watched him with the calmness of someone who already knew the truth. Ernesto stood with hands behind his back, eyes soft, like a grandfather watching a child taste a family secret. Jackson swallowed slowly. Very slowly. "All right," he said to the camera. "It's crispy." That was all he found the courage to say. But his eyes betrayed him. They said everything. They said, "I didn't know this existed." They said, "My whole career might be a lie." They said, "I'm in trouble." Isla simply smiled. What followed was a parade of Lechon styles, different cuts, different provinces, different traditions. Each one breaking another piece of his arrogance. Crispier. Softer. More tender. More flavorful. Each bite a masterclass in technique he'd never even considered. At one point he whispered, How is the skin this perfect?" Ernesto demonstrated. He showed the brushes made from local leaves. The banana water. The timing of rotation. The charcoal choice. The wind direction. The marinade massaged into the pig the night before. Generations of secrets in every motion. Jackson realized this wasn't simple food. This was generational science disguised as tradition. By sunset, Jackson didn't have a script anymore. He didn't even want the camera rolling. He sat on a wooden stool, the heat of the pit warming his back, and stared at the half-eaten Lechon like it had spoken to him. That night, back at the hotel, his followers bombarded him. "Where's the video? Did you destroy their Lechon? Did you expose the overrated hype?" Jackson sat alone, phone glowing in his hand, heart heavy. For the first time in his life, he didn't know what to say. 3 days passed. Silence. His fans panicked. His critics mocked him. His sponsors called. Then he finally posted a video. No edits. No background music. No dramatic intro. Just him. Eyes tired. Voice honest. "I owe an apology," he began. "I went to the Philippines expecting to win a fight no one asked for. I thought Lechon was simple. I was wrong. What I tasted was mastery. Generational mastery. Technique I didn't know existed. I disrespected something I didn't understand. And I'm sorry. The internet did not expect humility." The video exploded. Filipinos flooded the comments, not with anger, but with pride. Americans admitted curiosity. Celebrities shared it. Chefs reacted to it. Even the Food Network reposted it with a caption. "This is what culinary humility looks like." Then came an email from a major streaming service. A travel food series. A global journey. Jackson learning cuisines with respect, not ego. But before signing anything, he flew back to Cebu. He found Ernesto in the same backyard, turning another pig. The old man smiled the moment he saw him. Through the granddaughter's translation, Jackson explained everything: the apology, the comments, the show offer, and most importantly, the idea. A partnership. Not to Americanize Lechon. Not to claim it. Not to profit from it unfairly. But to share Ernesto's craft with the world exactly the way it was meant to be shared. With credit. With culture. With family. Ernesto listened quietly. And then tears filled his eyes. Not because of fame. Not because of money. But because someone finally saw the decades of work his family had poured into their craft. 3 months later, Ernesto's Lechon by Jackson Reed opened in California. The branding didn't hide anything. Ernesto's name was front and center. His story printed on every menu. His granddaughter ran the kitchen. His grandson designed the packaging. The Filipino community celebrated it like a victory. 1 year later, Jackson invited Ernesto to Texas for a collaboration event. The backyard legend from Cebu stepped onto an American stage to applause that shook the whole venue. 2 men. 2 cultures. 2 crafts. Standing side by side, not competing, but celebrating each other. As the cameras flashed, Jackson leaned toward Ernesto and said, "Thank you for changing me." Ernesto replied, through translation, "Thank you for listening." Jackson never went back to his old arrogance. He didn't need to. His world had already gotten bigger, and so had his heart. It wasn't just a story about food anymore. It was a story about respect. About humility. About letting the world teach you something new. And the day he left the Philippines, Jackson Reed was no longer iron tongue. He was something better? A student of the world.